Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Rachel, and if you're new to my channel, I just like to make content that I guess makes me happy. I don't know, I'm on kind of a new content kick right now. I just started YouTube again after not doing YouTube for about like a year or two, kind of like not doing YouTube consistently for like a year or two. And honestly, at this point, I'm just making content that makes me happy, especially since I'm getting more back into the social media space now. So I've decided to start posting regularly again. Today's video, I'm introducing a different, not really different type of content that has ever been on my channel. I mean, you can't see it now because it's been privated, but sorry, I keep touching my hair because it's like, sorry, I keep touching my hair. I say that as I apologize for touching my hair while I'm touching my hair. Oh my god. Okay, anyway. So basically on my brand Instagram, which you can follow right here, Rach by Rachel, I usually do daily lettering posts about usually some type of like positive affirmation or like life lesson. And I've decided that I really want to make videos about like those same type of things, but just go a little bit further in depth than like an Instagram caption. And I'm not saying like I'm some all-knowing like wise, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm not some all-knowing person. I'm just 20 years old. I'm a very new adult. But I mean, I'm just going through life like everybody else, and I'm learning things that are working and just not working for me and my mental health. And I feel like just noting the journey as I go along is kind of nice. Especially like to anyone who's younger than me or maybe even older than me, I don't know, because like I feel like however old or young you are, like we all still have very different experiences and outlooks on life, and it's really cool to share them and talk about them and maybe see if you can gain a different perspective, because that's how I've gained some of my insight, is through talking with people and, you know, just having those deep talks about life, you know what I'm saying? And disclaimer, this video, like I said, I'm a new adult. Like I'm just talking about things about my own experience and etc, etc. And not only that, but listen, I'm not just so go happy go lucky like motivational speaker. Not that those people are bad, but I'm saying that like I know a lot of this is like easier said than done, and you know, I'm learning along with everybody else who's watching this or isn't watching this. It's like we're all human, we're all learning, and all of the stuff that I talk about, it's like I'm not a master at it. I'm just 20 years old. I'm trying to implement it currently in my life, you know what I mean? So yeah, disclaimer, we're all learning, we're all friends here. So today I kind of wanted to talk about like the subject about acceptance, what that kind of means in like a daily life, and kind of like balancing like the positive and negative like things that happen to you in your life. This has been like the biggest like lesson for me to learn for like especially like this last half of the year, is the word acceptance and the word balance. I feel like when you are starting to grow into a new adult during your like later point in life, you get to the point where you're so afraid of failure and making mistakes that at least I am, and every single time you make a mistake you just beat yourself up about it, and you call into question every big decision you've ever made thus far and whether it was the right one. Honestly, like this is exactly like me. Like I hate failing. Every single time I fail, it makes me feel like I'm a failure, like as a person. Like I take it so personally. And of course I call into questions decisions that I've made, because I'm like, well, like this was a failure, like what about the rest of these things, you know what I'm saying? But usually when you're in distress about something in your life, the first thing that you try to do is like drown it out with positivity, or like suppress it, or seek out other people to like talk about it with, who like also advise you to like drown it out with positivity, because we've all thought like that's the best option to do for so long. And now of course like positivity is never a bad thing, and neither is being grateful for something. Being positive and grateful are always good things to do, and you should definitely always practice them in everything that you do, because it's important to feel grateful for the things that you have, no matter how big or small your problems are. Because, you know, it's important. But at the end of the day, like some of the problems that I do have, it is like a blessing in disguise to have them. It's like first world problems. It's like we're privileged enough to be having those problems. But, you know, you know, there's still like sometimes issues, you know what I'm saying? But what I mean about combating things with positivity and suppressing your real emotions about something, I'm saying when you're distressed about a situation or a mistake that you've made that has happened, it's not good to just like push a bunch of positivity on it and then just move on, and like put a lid and be like, well, I should be grateful, and then just move on. Again, of course, being positive is a good thing. It allows you to have a happier outlook on life, knowing that things can improve and will improve. But what I'm talking about is when you suppress your valid feelings about something that you're upset about. Like, your feelings are valid, otherwise you wouldn't be experiencing those feelings. And it's when you suppress your true valid emotions with shoving a bunch of like, well, it could be worse, or you should be grateful, blah, 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 like mantras like on top of it. And then eventually I feel like it's just the perfect concoction for, I guess, some type of like survivor's guilt, because you've just spent so long comparing your problems to like someone or a scenario in which those problems may be bigger than yours. So you're essentially gaslighting yourself into feeling guilty about something that has happened in your own life, in the way you feel about it. And a very like simple like example of this is maybe you receive your first B on a test after a long history of receiving only A's, and you're sad about it, which, you know, rightfully so. If I got A's for forever and I got one B, you know, that would be kind of suckish, you know what I'm saying? And then you tell that to maybe one of your friends or one of your classmates see or something like that, and they see you're upset about it, and they say something like, well, at least you didn't get a C like I did. You could have gotten a C. B is not that bad, or blah, blah, blah. Which, you know, that's valid as well, because, you know, that is worse. It could be worse, you know? Like, no one's negating the fact that it could be worse, or it is worse for somebody else. But it shouldn't make you just like squash whatever you're feeling and be like, you know what, you're right, I just shouldn't be upset about this, and then just move on. Because if you ever experience some type of failure like this again, I feel like it's just going to keep letting it get worse and worse and worse, instead of like feeling through your emotions and letting yourself like have that time to feel that way and then moving on. And of course it could be worse, but whether it could or couldn't be worse has no matter about what you're feeling right now. And when something bad happens, or something that makes you sad happens, or a mistake happens, it's good to feel bad about it, or however you feel about it. It's good to feel that, sit with it, and then move on. Of course, it's not good to wallow in it, and no one's saying to go wallow in it and go hide up in bed for a week because you got a B on a test. But it's like, if you're upset about it, that's valid, and, you know, feel upset, allot your time to be upset about it, and then move on. So basically, my suggestion is, instead of squashing ourselves with positivity and thinking that we are not in a position to ever feel bad about something that happens or ever feel negative thoughts, why don't we accept that there will be failures and there will be negative thoughts, but when we experience them, it's normal, and we can sit with it and we can move on. And know that when we do experience them, because we need to stop going through life with all of this like, failure is not an option. And listen, I'm talking directly to myself when I say this. Like, I am the biggest offender of all of these things that I'm talking about, but that's why I'm talking about it today, because this is like one of my life lessons this year, I feel like, is when you experience a failure or something like that, it's like, it's not that it's never going to happen. It's going to happen, but it's going to happen in a bunch of different ways. And when it does happen, you're allowed to feel bad about it, and you're allowed to sit with that, feel bad about that, and then move on. You don't have to sit on it forever, but you also don't have to squash it down and just like move on so quickly. Because if you fail again, then you're gonna tally it all up and be like, well, I failed this time and I failed that other time, and look at this, it's just going on. It's like you're gonna put it all together and then you let it build up behind the scenes because you've just been shoving it down this entire time. Because I feel like the biggest lesson from this lesson to learn is that like, your feelings are valid, and whatever you're feeling, it's healthy to work through it, not just gloss over it. Because in general, failure is inevitable. It's something that's going to happen. So why not prepare for the possibility of something positive happening to you or something negative happening to you? Because both of them are bound to happen, because that's just how life works. That's just the balance of life. So why not be prepared that both things are inevitable and both things will happen in different ways, and when you experience both of them, you can feel what you're feeling in that moment and then move on. Like, sometimes it's at the same time when we feel a positive emotion for happy about something, we don't let ourselves celebrate it, because we're like, oh, there's more to be done, there's more to like keep working on, or blah blah blah, or I can't celebrate yet, I have to do this, blah blah blah. It's like, if you're happy about something, celebrate it, have that positive moment, enjoy it, bask in that, you know, and then move to the balanced place, the neutral place, and then move on, you know. And just like when you're upset about something, be upset about it, you know. If you need to go cry, it's healthy. Is it like a little bit much sometimes? It's a little bit exhausting, yeah, but you know, dealing with your emotions is exhausting, you know what I'm saying? So if you need to go cry. If you need to go sit for a while, go sit for a while. Go give yourself some time to deal with it, and then move to the neutral place, and then move on. Realize that positivity and negativity, I feel like they live on the same line, and our like battle is trying to always pull ourselves from being like on one end of the line and trying to pull ourselves to the end of the line. But then the problem is when we're at the very end of the positivity line trying to be this happy-go-lucky positive person, when we experience one failure, we get whipped back to the end of the line, because it's absolutely like devastating when you make a failure and you're in that and you're in the like height of that positivity zone, if that makes sense, because you're like, oh wow, you know what I'm saying? You didn't let yourself like really feel those emotions and feel bad about it. So it starts to build up and creep on you. So instead of fighting, like being on the ends of the spectrum here, how about we just meet in the middle? Because that's a lot easier on yourself and your emotions. And also, failure allows us to learn. Failure allows us to learn and improve upon that. So it's necessary. It's how we make mistakes. It's how we learn from our mistakes and how we improve and are able to truly succeed and reach positive moments. So instead, if you fail something or you reach a failure or you're upset about something, instead of being so upset about it and letting it crush you, just sit with it and then move on. And instead of trying to push it down and swallow it so that you never feel any type of emotion ever again, don't do that. Of course, all of this is way easier said than done, and I'm obviously no expert in any of these things. I'm just a new adult, like I said in the beginning, trying to navigate life, and I'm realizing, this sounds stupid, but I'm realizing that beating myself up after every single negative thing that happens to me or failure that I have or something, just, wow, it isn't working. But you know what else doesn't work? Hearing 30 Hallmark card sayings on repeat. So I hope this little lesson serves to be of use in your life. If you have a different perspective on this, feel free to comment it below. You know, I'm a learning person. My opinion on all of these things can change, but I do think that, you know, feeling your emotions is healthy, and it is really good to like sit with that and move on. So and what I've been trying to practice with myself as far as listening to my body and paying attention to my emotions and things like that, it is definitely working way better than the other things I have done. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any thoughts on this, feel free to comment below. I would love to hear your insights. And thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoy the new content switch on my channel, and I will see you guys next time, and I hope all of you have a fantastic, wonderful day. Remember, your feelings are valid, your body is valid, and to listen to yourself. Bye guys.